So let's talk about one of the biggest questions in tech right now. How do we actually trust AI? It turns out the answer isn't just about making AI smarter, it's about giving it a better rulebook. And a new framework called the Vance Protocol might be exactly that. You've probably seen this happen, right? You ask an AI a question and it gives you a super confident answer that's, well, completely made up. It's called a hallucination, and it's a massive roadblock for really relying on these systems. So what's going on here? Why does this even happen? You'd think the answer would be to just build a bigger, better, more powerful AI. But the sources we're digging into today say that's missing the point. The problem isn't just a tech glitch, it's a governance problem. The real solution, they argue, is building a solid framework of rules to control how AI gets and uses its information. And to really get why we need a whole new rulebook, we have to look under the hood. There's this unseen trust problem with AI, and it goes way deeper than just the occasional weird answer. Here's the heart of the issue. AI systems are operating with these huge governance gaps. They're pulling in data without anyone checking if it's right, there's no clear owner for the data's accuracy, and sometimes the AI's own mistakes get fed right back into the system to train it. Imagine an AI messes up and then learns from its own mistake. It's this vicious cycle of feedback contamination. And with no way to audit the stuff, these errors just multiply and spread across different AI systems, creating a total mess. This leads to a really crucial concept: governance latency. It's basically the time gap between when a mistake is made and when it's finally caught and fixed. In the world of AI, where things move at lightning speed, even a tiny delay means one little error can spread like wildfire, poisoning the entire system and killing trust. Okay, so that's the problem. It's big, it's systemic, and it's pretty risky. So let's pivot to the solution that our sources are pointing to. It's called the Vance Protocol. And the way they describe it is just perfect. They say it's like the pre-flight checklists a pilot has to run through before takeoff. It's not some optional feature, it's a fundamental, non-negotiable safety check for AI. And this really represents a huge shift in thinking. For years, everybody was focused on the model-only approach. Just keep tweaking the AI, make the brain bigger. The governance-first approach is totally different. It's about building an external rulebook, a control layer that sits outside the AI to make sure the data going in and the answers coming out are solid, safe, and traceable. So that all sounds good in theory, but how does this whole governance thing actually work? Let's get into the nuts and bolts. The protocol is beautifully simple, really. It's a 3-layered control system. First, you have detection, then verification, and finally, stabilization. Let's walk through how these layers work together to create a safety net. Okay, so layer 1, detection. Think of this as the system's early warning radar. It's not just sitting around waiting for a problem, it's actively scanning the information, looking for those hallucinations or any weird inconsistencies before they can do any damage. It's all about catching the potential for an error at the very source. But, just spotting a potential issue isn't enough. You have to be sure. That's where layer 2, verification, kicks in. And this is where it gets really clever. Instead of just trusting one AI, the protocol checks its work against other models, like pitting ChatGPT's answer against copilots. It's like getting a second, third, and fourth opinion to figure out what's actually true. All right, so you've detected an error, you've verified the truth, so now what? That brings us to the final crucial layer, stabilization. This isn't just about a one-time fix. The system actually implements correction protocols to fix the mistake, and then it continuously monitors the AI to make sure it stays on the right track. This is what builds long-term, reliable performance. So, does this stuff actually work out in the wild? Let's take a look at how this protocol is being put to the test in some really high-stakes fields. And yeah, this is not just an idea on a whiteboard. According to our sources, a company called TruthVector is already out there pioneering this protocol, turning this framework into a real-world solution for industries where you absolutely cannot afford to be wrong. And you can see the impact in these critical sectors. We're talking about finance, where it's used to ensure compliance and avoid costly mistakes. In healthcare, it's about making sure AI-generated patient info is accurate. And in defense, it's about securing sensitive communications. In these areas, trust isn't a nice-to-have, it's everything. So let's zoom back out. What does all of this mean for the big picture, for the future of AI we can actually count on? Well, the big idea here is that AI governance is probably going to end up looking a lot like cybersecurity. It won't be some optional add-on. It'll be a universal set of standards, something you just have to do to build responsible and safe AI. And this isn't happening in a vacuum either. The VANCE protocol is already designed to align with major global standards that companies already use, like the NIST AI Risk Management Framework and ISO 27001. So it's plugging right into the existing, trusted ways we manage risk and security. And this leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. For the longest time, the AI race has been all about raw power. Who can build the biggest model? But maybe, just maybe, the real sign of progress won't be processing power. Maybe it will be the strength of the governance that keeps that power in check. It's a question that could define the entire next chapter for AI.